Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Talk to the Entities live. I'm Valérie Beurtin. I come from France, and let's talk about entities today. And what if spirit awareness wasn't wrong? What if you could embrace it? And what if it's not a curse, but a great gift that you can give to yourself and others around you? Um, Let me give you an example. I was born in France. So, what does that mean? That means, in France, people they don't talk about ghosts at all. For them, it's either it doesn't exist or it's this creepy thing that you see in movies and basically it's wrong and horrible and you should never talk to ghosts because something bad is going to happen to you. Well, what I have found out is actually the opposite. I have never been raised in a spirit friendly family. No one talked about ghosts, and yet when I was very young, I was aware of ghosts. And since no one around me educated me, talked, or asked questions about my entity awareness, I shut it off forever. Well, not forever, hopefully. I happened to be very lucky and discover the great tools of access consciousness and talk to the entity's specialty. And when I saw it and I saw um, videos on YouTube from Shannon O'Hara, the founder of Access, I was like, huh, I really like what she's saying. And whatever she's talking about, it doesn't sound creepy, horrible. It sounded so pragmatic that even me, I felt like I could do it and ask questions and use entity tools. And I attended my first Talk to the Entities class. I just knew that I wanted to learn how to clear, communicate, and receive from ghosts. And let me tell you, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. Those tools, they literally saved my life because actually I was more aware than ghosts than I could possibly imagine. I had such a severe entity awareness that I didn't want to have, that I was really in pain all the time in my body, especially in my arms, like, here. And I would go see doctors and osteopaths, and they would tell me, we don't know what's going on. And I was like, ah, I hate to be in pain. And it's like any medication I have tried is really, really not working because it's covering up the symptom, but really underneath, the cause is still here and it has no effect. So, fast forward, here I am in my first Talk to the Entities class, learning how to communicate, clear and clear and clear and clear a lot of ghosts that were really around me. And I actually, at the end of the class, 80% of the pain that I had in my body was completely gone. And it never went. I mean, I was never in pain like that ever again. So I'm actually so happy because I saved like a ton of time and money trying to find the right thing to fix my body when really it wasn't a body problem. It was just my body telling me, hey, lots of ghosts here. Do you want to do something about it? And when I embraced my capacities and when I um, applied the tools of Talk to the Entities, everything went so quiet in my body and in my head. It was so unbelievable. It was really like magic. And this is how I started the adventure. I just love the Talk to the Entities tools. So how about we do a little entity clearing? It's really easy and fun too. We can practice together. And to clear entities, this is actually my favorite entity tool that's going to work on 80% of the entities. You just clear them. And how do you do that? Well, you ask them questions and you just ask a bunch of questions. And when the entities remember what has been happening to them, they just go away. And that's easy, pragmatic. Everyone can do it. I have taught those tools to children as well, and they are doing great. So trust me, you can do it too. So if you want to do it at home with me, repeat either out loud or in your head. So ask all of the entities who want to be cleared to come close to you. And now let's ask questions. Truth, who are you all? Truth, who were you before that? Truth, who were you before that? 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 And truth, who will you be in the future? And truth, what are all of your jobs? What were all of your jobs before that? What were all of your jobs before that? What were all of your jobs before that and before that and before that? And what will all of your jobs be in the future? And truth, what are you all? What were you all before that? 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 And what will you all be in the future? You can all go now. Thank you very much. And destroy and create all the magnetic imprintings, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyond. If you don't know the weird sentence I just said, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyond, it's the Access Consciousness clearing statement. It sounds a little bit crazy, but it's actually designed to clear all of the energies, all of the limitations, all of the judgments, points of views, and a lot more things. If you don't know what this is, please go to theclearingstatement.com, and there is a great video from Dr. Dane here and Simone Melissus explaining how it works and what every word means. But what's great about the clearing statement is that you don't actually need to understand it for it to work. You just say the words and all of the energies are just cleared as if by magic. I know it sounds really way too simple, but I have been using it for the last 6 years, and every time I use it, it creates so much space, so much magic and miracles that I would recommend anyone to use it. This is the greatest discovery in personal development, and it really works. So back to entities. Entities are not just dead people. This is one of the most misconceptions that there is around entities. And yes, there are a lot of dead people, and they're included in the clearing that we did when we said truth, who are you, who were you before that. We're directly addressing people who are dead and who were a person before they died. And I think this is amazing to have those tools because they can really clear out this simple clearing can work on 80% of the entities. And what I love with Talk to the Entities is that you don't have to work hard. You just say the clearings and boom, it's going to handle 80% of entity stuff around you. So feel free to use it. Um, when I was a primary school teacher, I would go to my class. And in France, a lot of schools are in very, very old buildings. And when I mean very old, it's like, 300, 200 years old. And some of them were sometimes monasteries or like religious things. And they are so haunted. I'm always amazed. I'm like, why do they put a school into a super haunted building? Well, I have discovered that not a lot of people know that ghosts actually exist and that they're real. It's a thing. So when I arrived in my class every morning before starting at 8 a.m. in the morning, I would do a massive entity clearing so that I can just, have a day with the kids at school and not be bothered by a lot of entity activity. And hello, everyone who's joining this live. We are talking about ghosts today and the amazing Talk to the Entities tools. And now that I think about it, if you have never my camera. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. It's sunny here, hopefully. If you haven't read it, there is the Talk to the Entities book by Shannon O'Hara. She actually wrote two of them, and they are in many languages. And I just love both of them. They are completely different. And if you don't like to read, they are on audiobook as well, which is always good. You can just, put it on your phone and play it whenever you want. And it's like this super awesome entity education that I know I have read it many times, and those books, they never get old. They are amazing. Check them out if you want to, you know, have a taste of Talk to the Entities. And what I love at the end of the first Talk to the Entities book, the blue one, there is a mini class from Shannon, and you can really start to really learn and apply those tools for yourself. And especially if you have kids, oh my God, you will need them. And I am not joking about it. Kids are highly, highly, highly aware of entities, and just clearing entities for them is already very, like, it creates space for them, because sometimes when you're aware of entities and you don't acknowledge it, it can be it can manifest as many symptoms, actually, and not just for kids. I mean, check out if this feels light for you too. If you're aware of entities and you don't acknowledge it, you can actually have symptoms such as body pain. That was mine for sure. You can have a psychic pain like anxiety, stress, depression, or sometimes even mental illnesses that are directly a side effect of an acknowledged entity awareness. So, what are your symptoms of entity awareness? I met this lady one time. When there were entity in the room, her body was actually shaking, like, and she was like, "Oh, I'm always cold. I'm cold. I'm cold." And I was like, "Are you really cold, or is your body aware of entities?" And she was so relieved when I asked the question, because she wasn't acknowledging that she was aware of entities and her body was also aware and telling her, hey, there are ghosts here in the room with us. So actually being aware of entities can make your life really easy and fun. And what do you know about entities that you are denying that you know that if you knew it would change your life, change your body, change your psychic space? And what if it's not wrong to be aware of entities? And I've said this previously, I was born in France, and in France, like talking about entities with your family or friends is really something that no one does. No one. And when I attended my first Talk to the Entities class, I think I told no one. I went like completely alone. I trained myself. I had my manual. I practiced the tools, and I told no one. And actually, you don't have to tell anyone because not everyone is entity friendly and not everyone is going to have your back. Sad but true. And if you choose something for yourself, and you don't have to tell anyone, you don't have to prove anything, and you just do it for you because you know it's going to make your life easier. What would that create for you in your life? And I also wonder, what is your point of view about having an entity awareness? Is your point of view, I'm not aware of entities, or entities are bad, they can hurt me? Or what is your point of view that you have about entities, and notice that there might just not be one, but probably more than 10,000 coming up? And I'm wondering, are those points of view really yours? Or are they from someone you grew up with? Or someone in your family? Someone amongst your friends? Or is it a point of view that your country has, your culture, your religion? And do you really want to keep having those points of views? Or can you just acknowledge that, okay, these are just points of views that are floating in the air, quote unquote, that I'm aware of, that I know they exist, and I've seen some people really talking like this about ghosts? And what if you could recognize that you're aware of ghosts and you're aware of so many points of views around ghosts? Oh, and what if it didn't have to mean anything? And you could just say, oh, I'm aware of ghosts. Oh, I'm also aware that a lot of people think that this is really bad to talk to ghosts. And what if I didn't have to align and agree or resist or react to any of these points of views? What if I could just choose for me, choose what works for me, and what new points of views could you embrace that would really change your life? I know that for me, I'm really weird, and for me, my point of view is that like entities are so easy. They are so easy to deal with. and so much easier than people in a body. And they are really, 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 really fun. That's the way I perceive the spirit world. I'm not saying that there are bad entities. Some of them are really annoying and noisy, and it exists too, but I don't really care. So, guys, what else is possible with entities? What else is possible with entities you haven't considered yet? And what if you could be the weird person who has ease, joy, and fun with entities? I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Well, thank you everyone for being on this live, and check out talktotheentities.com for more resources, more information and education about entities. Go read those books about entities. So the first one is Talk to the Entities, and the second one is The Beings of Light by Shannon O'Hara. They're really amazing. Check them out. They might change your life. Bye bye, everyone.